Philfo Creativity for Your Ideas with Google Workspace 7.
You ever get that feeling that there's some kind of hidden connection between, well, everything? A secret rhythm that links the music we hear, our deepest feelings, and maybe even the structure of the universe itself? Well, today we're diving into a fascinating system that says, yes, absolutely, and it proposes a blueprint for harmony that all starts with something you can actually see and touch. Okay, let's just start with a wild idea. I want you to try and forget just for a second that sound is something you hear. Instead, what if you could see it? What if every single note, every word we speak actually left a physical pattern on the world around us? What would that even look like? Well, believe it or not, there's a whole field of science dedicated to this very idea. It's called cymatics, and it's all about making sound visible. The classic experiment is pretty simple. You take a metal plate, you sprinkle some sand or salt on it, and then you play a musical tone through it. And the sand, it doesn't just bounce around randomly, no way. It organizes itself into these absolutely stunning, complex, geometric patterns. This little phenomenon, this is the golden thread for our whole story today. And that simple experiment reveals something that is just mind-blowing. Sound isn't just some passive wave floating through the air. It's an active, organizing force. It literally creates form out of what was once chaos. That's the key takeaway we need to hang on to. Sound creates form. So, if a simple single tone can create these incredible patterns in sand, what do you think happens when you use one of the most complex and ancient forms of music? This is exactly where a cool scientific principle starts to look a whole lot like a powerful spiritual technology. We're going to explore how this very idea, sound creating form, is at the absolute heart of Sikhism's sacred music, which is known as Gurbani. So in this worldview, Gurbani isn't just beautiful music for worship. It's actually treated as a very precise technology for creating harmony. The idea is that the vibrations from these traditional instruments are so pure, so specific, that they can turn anything nearby, a glass of water, the flame of a candle, into one of those somatic plates. They call this reversible somatics, the idea that these sacred patterns are already hidden in reality and the music just brings them out. And then think bigger. On the grandest scale possible, the entire Earth is seen as one gigantic, moving cosmic plate, just waiting for the right vibrations to reveal its perfect harmony. Okay, so if Gurbani is the how, the actual application, then what about the why? What's the fundamental blueprint that this whole system is based on? How exactly is reality supposed to be built from these vibrations in the first place? This brings us to a really central concept called the 4 and 5th stream. Now stick with me here, it's not as complex as it sounds. The basic idea is that there are 4 primary divine forces. They call them Ishur streams. You can think of them like fundamental cosmic ingredients. When these 4 ingredients flow together and combine in just the right way, they create a 5th stream, Parmashar, which is, well, it's everything. It's the reality we can see and touch. And here is where it all just clicks into place. Look at the sequence. You start with light, sound, and vibration as the raw cosmic energies. But what turns that raw energy into something coherent, something alive? Well, according to this model, it's step 4, cymatics. It's the active, shaping force. It's like the cosmic organizer that takes all those raw ingredients and arranges them into the complex, beautiful pattern we call life. So it's not just another ingredient, it's actually the recipe itself.
Okay, so we've got a system that connects sacred music all the way to the fundamental creation of life. I mean, that is a huge leap, right? So how do you connect those dots? You're going to need a kind of philosophical bridge, something to connect two worlds that we almost always keep separate.
Think about it like this. On one side of the river, you've got the spiritual path. The main goal here is inner peace, right? And you get there by feeling connected to everything, that deep sense of oneness. Then, on the other side of the river, you have the material, scientific path. That often seeks understanding by separating things, by observing them, measuring them. We see ourselves as being apart from nature, looking in. Now, both paths are searching for a kind of stability, but they're coming at it from totally opposite directions.
And the proposed bridge to connect these two sides is a concept called Philselfology. Its entire purpose is to merge these two worldviews. And how does it do that? Well, it goes right back to our golden thread, cymatics. It presents cymatics as the observable, repeatable scientific proof that the spiritual idea of harmony isn't just some nice feeling. It's a physical, organizing principle of the entire universe.
So, what's the point of all this? What's the end game? If you manage to unify science and spirituality, and you truly understand the creative power of sound, what is the ultimate goal for humanity?
And this gives us a great look at the personal side of things. A text like The Art of Ascendancy basically maps out a spiritual journey over the 12 months of the year. The whole idea is to intentionally align your own personal growth, your own vibrations, if you will, with the larger rhythms of the cosmos. It's all about consciously getting yourself in tune with the universe. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about finding your own personal zen. The ultimate point, the big takeaway, is that individual harmony is fundamentally incomplete. As this quote says so perfectly, true peace, true harmony and joy can only be universal. It has to be for one and all. The entire system, from the vibrating sand to the sacred music, is ultimately aimed at that collective, shared harmony. So if the ultimate goal is universal harmony, where do you look for the ultimate expression of that principle? Well, the proponents of this philosophy, they look up. They see these very same rhythms of vibration and harmony, not just here on Earth, but playing out on the most massive scale you can imagine, in the silent, cosmic dance of the planets.
And as an example of this thinking in action, they point to a specific celestial alignment they've predicted for 2025. They call it a Kala Sarpa Yoga, where the planets are going to arrange themselves into this really specific pattern. They say the peak of this will happen around April 12th and 13th, with an event they believe could have real, tangible effects on Earth, like high tides. Now, whether you follow astrology or not, that's beside the point. The idea here is that they see this cosmic dance not as random, but as another grand piece of music, the universe's underlying harmony and vibration playing out in total silence.
So when you look at the whole picture, from the simple, beautiful patterns made by a grain of sand on a vibrating plate, all the way to the silent, intricate dance of our solar system, this framework suggests a universe built entirely on resonance. And it really forces us to ask a pretty profound question. Could sound, this thing we experience every single day, actually be the forgotten key to unlocking both cosmic and personal harmony?